This time on EDM Matters, Insomniac is shaking things up, Dexter is making EDM, and how far would you go to get VIP for life to your favorite festival? All this and more on EDM Matters. Welcome back to Season 3 of EDM Matters. Once again, I am Matt Meadow, and these are the songs and stories that matter. It's been a couple months since our last episode as we retooled for the new season, so we've got a lot of catching up to do. First and foremost, and most recent, the EDC lineup was just released. There are over 250 artists, so I can't go over everything here, but I'll give you some quick and dirty highlights. Slander back-to-back Said the Sky, Afrojack back-to-back Rehab, Diplo back-to-back MK, Dubfire back-to-back Nicole Madaber, back-to-back Paco Osuna, Caspa back-to-back Peekaboo, and Rob G back-to-back Sid of Slipknot, plus a new stage called Skylab dedicated to house music, and for the first time ever, the festival will be using the entirety of the Speedway. This is the 10th year of EDC in Vegas, but next year will be the 25th anniversary of EDC as a festival. So while this year is huge, next year is going to be even bigger. But that's not all Insomniac has up its sleeve. It's also planning on filling the void in the Northwest as it's in the process of suing promoter USC Events for breach of contract, leaving room at the Gorge for a summer festival. And it seems like Beyond Wonderland could be taking that spot. There's nothing certain yet, but if you wanted to place a bet on it, I wouldn't stop you. And if that's the case, how far would you go to get VIP access for life to EDC, or Beyond Wonderland, or your favorite festival, whatever it is? If you're like Brandon, no known last name, you'd get a VIP wristband literally tattooed on your wrist. Brandon based the tattoo off an existing wristband for Rolling Loud Festival, but he actually gave himself an upgrade. The one he had was just GA, but he tattooed a VIP band, and the festival noticed and said Brandon would be let in for life with that. Now, I can't recommend you getting a tattoo just for free entry. I mean, you can do it with a Dim Mak tattoo for Steve Aoki shows, I know that, but anyone else, you're really testing your luck. You might test it out with a group therapy tattoo because Above and Beyond Acoustic is returning for its third round this summer with a new album and a new tour. The last time the UK trio performed acoustic in Los Angeles was at the Hollywood Bowl with 17,000 incredible fans. Now it's going back to where it all started, at the Greek Theatre for 2 nights, and more tour dates elsewhere around the world, like London's Royal Albert Hall, the Alexandra Palace Theatre, New York's Radio City Music Hall, and the Kennedy Center in Washington, D.C. All I can say about this tour is that if you feel like crying, there's no better place to be. I also want to talk really quick about something that 95% of you won't know. Michael C. Hall, the actor who played Dexter on the hit Showtime show about a serial killer, is in a band called Princess Goes to the Butterfly Museum. And their latest single is just EDM enough for me to feel okay mentioning them on the show. Not only is it a cool little outfit he's got going with some former fellow Broadway co-stars, Hall described the new single as something you might see in a dystopian prison camp where the prisoners were kept under control by being given psychedelic drugs. How cool is that? And now that we're talking music, let's get to it. The past 2 months have been absolutely huge for dance music. Not least of all, in the couple months since we last saw each other, Porter Robinson came out with a new song called Get Your Wish and announced a new album called Nurture coming out this year. Apart from Shelter with Madian and material from his Virtual Self side project, we haven't had a solo original Porter Robinson track since his debut album Worlds in 2014. This is easily one of the most anticipated albums of 2020, but I'll have more on that in our special report next week. Another album that drops tomorrow is Desert Trash from Miha. She's only released 2 singles out of the 13-track album, so there's still so much more to discover on this project. Miha will be accompanying the album with a live tour for the very first time, which should also give you an idea of what direction the album will be going in. Then again, the first single, Desert Trash, and the latest single with Gammer, Digressions, couldn't be further apart. And I mean that sonically and literally. They're actually the first and last track on the album, respectively. Again, that's Desert Trash from Miha out tomorrow. Calvin Harris has taken a new direction in 2020 with a new project he's calling Love Regenerator. Rather than the largely pop-focused material he's been pumping out on his main project since forever, he's going deep into house and techno. He's already released a couple 2-track EPs under this new banner, and there's probably more to come, but at this point, we're just following his lead here. Going back to some stranger musical endeavors, Elon Musk, yes, that Elon Musk, released a new progressive house song called Don't Doubt Your Vibe. It's not fantastic, but it's not that bad either. But it just so happens that Netsky got his hands on the track and turned it into an absolutely breathtakingly beautiful liquid drum and bass track. It's rare, if ever, that Netsky doesn't deliver a hit. Thankfully, we don't have to worry about that here. Now, I could keep going, but that will do it for us here at EDM Matters this week. Tune in next week for another special report where I'll talk about all the albums you have to look forward to this year, and there are a lot. I'll see you next time.
Thanks for watching this episode of EDM Matters. My name's Alex. I'm the director of the show. We hope you liked it. If you did, please give it a like below. If you want to watch our previous episode, we've got it right over here. If you want to subscribe, which we hope you do, please click this button right here. And that's it. Do what I told you, please.